Hi everyone, Bernard here with the latest news of what's out to buy here in the UK. Please, if you're outside the UK, check the availability in whatever territory you're in. Please, if you're new to the site or you've watched it before but you've never done it, please push the old subscribe button, push the bell notifications so we know these little reviews and information, vlogs and specials are coming out. And please, thumbs up, always appreciated. Wonderful. So we're looking at what's coming out on the 9th of March 2020. So we've got 3 movies and 4 box sets to have a quick look at today. So the first one is probably the biggie, and it's one I did quite enjoy when it came out at the cinema. And it's, of course, Doctor Sleep, a 15 rating, $9.99 DVD, $14.99 Blu-ray, and $24.99 for those who are lucky enough to have 4K. 2 hours 32 minutes. It's marketed as Stephen King's Doctor Sleep, as if we could ever forget that. A 2019 supernatural horror film based on the 2013 novel of the same title. A sequel to King's 1977 novel The Shining. The film, which also serves as a direct sequel to the film adaptation of The Shining, directed by Stanley Kubrick, is set several decades after the events of the original, combines elements of the 1977 novel as well. Written and directed and edited by Mike Flanagan and stars Ewan McGregor in one of the main roles, Danny Torrance, a man with psychic abilities who struggles with childhood trauma, Rebecca Ferguson, Kylie Curran, Cliff Curtis also have supporting roles. You probably know by now, a now adult Dan Torrance must protect a young girl with similar powers from a cult known as the True Knot, who prey on children with powers to remain immortal. Any good? Well, I mean, overall, we've had the box office figures now, and they weren't fantastic. 45 million budget, and he got 72 million back, which is a little bit disappointing, to say the least. The critics on review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, it still holds a 77% positive review rating, which is really good based on 307 reviews, with an average rating of just over 7 out of 10. The critics' consensus reads, Doctor Sleep forsakes the elemental terror of its predecessor for a more contemplative sequel that balances poignant themes against spine-tingling chills. Metacritic, the critics' rating, assigned the film a weighted average of just 5.9 out of 10, which isn't great based on 46 critics. Empire's Chris Hewitt, he gave it a 6 out of 10, which is pretty average. Working off source material, he went on to say, working off source material that is very different from its predecessor. Anyone expecting a straightforward Shining sequel will be disappointed. This isn't a grueling exercise in pure horror. It's odder and more I'm not even going to say the word again, but worth checking in. Internet Movie Database, 7.4 out of 10. Obviously that's quite a high score from that's Joe Public, the Internet Movie Database user rating. Comments such as worth watching, 9 out of 10, surprisingly good, 8 out of 10. Flanagan couldn't direct a 2-car parade down a one-way street, 1 out of 10. Good but too long, 7 out of 10. Enjoyable and worth a watch, 7 out of 10. Yeah, my little rating when I did at the time when I watched the movie, I give it an overall rating of 8 out of 10. And if you know my scores, that's quite kind, isn't it? 8 out of 10. I don't usually go that high. And I did, just to sum it up, I said, a good story that, though long, kept you entertaining, getting throughout, a worthy successor to a classic. So that was my opinion. So that's out to buy now, Doctor Sleep. The next one is another biggie, Midway, 12A, $9.99 DVD, $14.99 Blu-ray, $19.99 4K, 2 hours and 18 minutes. And of course, it's a war film based on the attack on Pearl Harbor and the subsequent Battle of Midway during World War II. Directed by Roland Emmerich, who produced the film with Harold Closser. The film features an ensemble cast including Ed Skrein, Patrick Wilson, Luke Evans, Eric Eckhart, Nick Jonas, Mandy Moore, Dennis Quaid, Tadambu Asano, and Woody Harrelson. The plot, well, if you don't know it, it centres on the Battle of Midway, a clash between the American fleet and the Imperial Japanese Navy, which marks a pivotal turning point in the Pacific Theatre during World War II. My dad was fighting the Japs in Burma at the same time. The film, based on the real-life events of this heroic feat, tells the story of the leaders and soldiers who used their instincts, fortitude and bravery to overcome the odds. Any good? Well, again, a little bit disappointing. £100 million budget, which you can see where the money went, but it only got 124 million at the box office, so not a fantastic success, unfortunately. Rotten Tomatoes only gave an approval rating of 42% based on 156 reviews, and it only averaged just over 5 out of 10. The consensus reads, Midway's revisits a well-known story with modern special effects and a more balanced point of view, but its screenplay isn't quite ready for battle. Metacritic, the Metascore rating, again, not great, 4.7 out of 10 based on 28, and its scores range anywhere between 4 to 8.8 out of 10. The rap William Bibiani, he gave it 5 out of 10. He said, like many of Emmerich's movies, even the better ones, Midway loses sight of the humanity inside its vast vistas of devastation. It's a giant film with a very small impact, so not great. Joe Hughes, a little bit kinder with it. Joe Hughes of the Public, 6.7 out of 10. More cheese than a cheddar factory was one of the comments, 4 out of 10. Almost more documentary than drama, 8 out of 10. That's not such a bad thing, is it, sometimes? Terrible movie, 2 out of 10. An okay war film, 7 out of 10. Way better than expected, 9 out of 10. Yeah, my little review for moviegamenostalgia.com was a 6.5 out of 10, which is just above a watchable rating. I went on to conclude Midway is okay, but not fantastic. I found it a little repetitive, and this actual event and story deserves a bit better telling, in my opinion. So that's Midway's now out to buy. And the next one out to buy is a British one, totally different to the two we've just discussed, and it's Sorry We Missed You, a 15 rating, a drama, a very gritty drama, an hour and 41 minutes, $9.99 on DVD. It was a British-French-Belgium production, so a combined production directed by Ken Loach, written by Paul Laverty and produced by Rebecca O'Brien. So if you like Ken Loach, you know exactly what you're getting with this. Stars Chris Hitchen, Debbie Honeywood and Rhys Stone. About, well, it's Ricky and his family have been fighting an uphill struggle like we all are here in the UK. If you don't live in the UK, you know, it's terrible over here, against debt since the 2008 financial crash. An opportunity to wrestle back some independence appears with a shiny new van and the chance to run a franchise as a self-employed delivery driver. It's hard work, and his wife's job as a carer is no easier. The family unity is strong, but when both are pulled in different directions, everything comes to a breaking point. Any good? Well, yeah, I mean, Rotten Tomatoes, it's got an approval rating of 85% based on 85 reviews, with an average rating of over 7.6 out of 10. And the consensus reads, Sorry We Missed You may strike some as tending toward the righteously didactic, but director Ken Loach's passionate approach remains effective. Metacritic, the Metascore, again, quite high, weighted average of 7.9 out of 10 based on 16 critics. CineView's John Bleasdale gave it a 6 out of 10. He wrote, Laverty and Loach have created another hard-hitting, powerful film, spiked with humour and moments of rare but profound humanity. And Joe Public, the user, Internet Movie Database rating is 7.7 out of 10. So overall, getting really good marks. Some of the comments, an excellent example of why my ancestors left the UK, 5 out of 10. Very kind there from America, I assume. Superb realistic financial trouble drama, 8 out of 10. Realistic portrait of family struggle, 8 out of 10. Powerful social drama, 9 out of 10. And finally, boring, depressing trash, 1 out of 10. My little review, well, I wasn't as overly keen on the film, to be honest with you. I gave it a 6 out of 10, which is a watchable rating. And I did go on to conclude, Ken Loach does what he does. I have to admit to being a little disappointed in this latest effort, especially cop out of an ending. Yeah, Ken Loach is Ken, as I said, if you like Ken Loach, you'll probably enjoy it, but I was just left a little bit uninspired by it all, to be honest with you. And the box sets this week. The New Pope is a 15 rating, $16.99 DVD, $22.99 on Blu-ray. It's 3 discs with 360 minutes, 9 episodes. It stars, of course, Jude Law, John Malkovich, and Silvio Orlando. Written and directed by internationally celebrated auteur Paolo Sorrentino, with co-writers Umberto Contarello and Stefano Bissis. It's about Pius the 13th, who is played by Jude Law, in a coma after an unpredictable and mysterious time. The Secretary of State Vola succeeds in the enterprise of having the charming, sophisticated and moderate English aristocrat, Sir John Brannock, played by John Malkovich, placed on the papal throne with the name John Paul III. The new Pope seems perfect, but he conceals secrets and a certain fragility. I've not seen this, I must admit. It's getting okay reviews on the Internet Movie Database. It's one I probably will go back and watch at some stage. It's getting, any episodes are getting anything between 7.5 and 8.8 out of 10. And overall, it's got an 8.2 out of 10. So if you're a fan of, or you've not seen and you fancy the new Pope, that's now out to buy. The next one is the classic Silent Witness. We're up to series 23 now, $14.99 on DVD. It's 5 times 2-part episodes, so there's 10 episodes in total, so like 5 feature-length episodes. And of course, it's about Dr. Nikki Alexander and the team at the Lyle Centre, who must solve 5 more thrilling mysteries in this award-winning crime drama. A body in the concrete pillar of a car park, a downed plane, scientific research gone wrong. The cases that end up at the Lyle Centre are rarely straightforward. Initial suspicions are challenged as the evidence mounts, and Nikki and the team must work harder than ever to find the truth. Yeah, I mean, the individual episode ratings are getting anywhere between 6.8 to 9 out of 10 per episode. And overall, it's getting a 7.8 out of 10 rating on the Internet Movie Database. I mean, Silent Witness, to me, it's grown on me a little bit. It wasn't early days, I didn't quite like it as much as I do now, yet some people are saying it's deteriorated over time. But I must admit, I quite enjoyed Series 23. I think it's one of the better ones. And the next one we're going to look at, NCIS, over to America, New Orleans, 15 rating. And this is up to season 5, 1,004 minutes, 24 episodes. You get your value for money over there, don't you? About Special Agent Dwayne Cassius Pride, played by Scott Bakula, leads an elite team of agents and specialists as they take on assassins, conspiracies and mysteries, years in the making, all while recruiting some new blood into the squad. So obviously, very similar to Silent Witness, but the American old gung-ho version. Any good? Well, again, yeah, it's getting good episode marks, anywhere between 7.6 and 8.4 out of 10, with an overall rating of 6.8 out of 10. So that's NCIS New Orleans series season 5, because we're in America. Season 5 is now available to buy. And the last one we're going to look at available to buy is, of course, the classic, great British one, Endeavour, Series 7. So we've got 7 of these, 15 rating, $14.99 on DVD. Just 3 feature-length episodes, about 360 minutes. And, of course, it's about our Inspector Morse. And it's New Year's Day, and 1970 begins with a body on an Oxford Canal towpath. The start of a new decade sees new relationships blossom and old friendships challenged as fatality strikes as groundbreaking college project. A family Indian restaurant is devastated by murder. An all-woman Oxford college is struck by tragedy. From the waterways of Venice to the streets of Oxford, 1970 brings a new evil and ultimate test to our Castlegate CID gang, from which they may never survive. Very good. I mean, that's a great talk-up, isn't it? Internet Movie Database, episode ratings anywhere between 7.5, 8.6 out of 10, with an overall rating of 8.6 out of 10. Again, Endeavour is one of my favourites, so Silent Witness has grown on me. Endeavour I've always enjoyed, and certainly this last series was excellent and well worth a watch. So that's all the stuff out to buy this week in the UK, and check your territories wherever you are. So that's Doctor Sleep, 15 rating. Midway, I think that's a 12 rating, 12A rating. Sorry We Missed You, which is a 15 rating. And the box sets, The New Pope, Series 1. Is there a Series 2? I'm not too sure. Season 1, I'm not sure if there's a Season 2. Silent Witness, Season 23. NCIS New Orleans, Season 5. And Endeavour, Series 7. Sorry if I said Silent Witness. That's Series 23, isn't it? We're in the UK, so there you go. So please, if you get to watch any of those or go out and buy those, or you're fans of those, let me know in the comments below what you think. For all the latest movie and board game, etc. news, please follow me on Twitter at nostalgia_movie. I follow everyone back on there. And I'm on Facebook with links to Burned with links to Movie Game Nostalgia, my little website for old rare DVDs, posters and board games. So you can have a look on there. Fantastic. Much appreciated. Any thumbs ups, also appreciated. Anyway, thanks for joining for this little information blog. I mean, obviously, I do more detail on the cinema releases and specific cinema releases. Obviously, the out to buy, you've probably got the information anyway. So I just sort of more a summary of this information of what's out to buy for your information and delectation. Anyway, thanks for watching today. Thanks for joining me, and please look in the links below, etc., and the links at the end of this vlog of other things that may pique your interest. Anyway, thanks for watching today. Whatever you're going to do with the rest of your day, have a great one. Look after yourself, look after your friends, and more importantly, look after your family. And hopefully you'll join me again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.